everyone. Okay, let's go ahead and do some stuff because I didn't charge my camera before I filmed this, so it's gonna, gonna die probably because this is probably gonna take forever. But yeah, my goal today is to use products that I either haven't used yet or haven't used in a while. So I'm going to be pulling a bunch of different stuff from a bunch of different places, things I've already done. I've primed, I've done my eyebrows, and I've done a little base of white shadow from this Viseart Editorial Brights palette. I'm going to be messing around with this thing because, oh, so many bright colors. Decided to make this a get ready with me style video. I'm just taking this orange right here because I was not feeling it today. There's no other way around it. Sometimes you just don't feel inspired, and that was one of those days for me. And then I'm gonna take my accent brush, tap into this orange a little bit and work the inside corner of my eye, leaving the very innermost corner blank here. But yeah, so how you guys doing? I feel like I haven't really checked in with you in a while. I've been super busy and life has been hectic lately, I'll put it that way. You guys already know how stuff is with the ferrets. They are doing good right now. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that we had a little bit of a scare some time ago. My my other ferret, Onyx, the big albino boy, the one who is perfectly healthy and there's nothing wrong with him, we went to the vet, like the vaccine clinic, not the exotic vet we normally go to. We went to a vaccine clinic to get them up to date on rabies vaccines because that's required by law here. You have to be up to date on rabies every single year. So we went to go have him and his sister jabbed because vaccines are important, and I wanted to be a responsible pet owner. And I was on my way out, actually. I was sitting in the car, and I just, something told me to just sit in the car for a little bit because, when a critter gets a vaccine, they can have an allergic reaction anytime, no matter how old they are, no matter how long they've had said vaccines done to them, they can still react at any point in time. So I always hang out in that sort of parking lot or just in the waiting room for a little while just to make sure everything's a-okay. And he seemed all right. Onyx seemed a little bit tired, but yeah, that was nothing out of the ordinary. Normally after a stressful experience like that, Onyx will just go straight to sleep. That's just how he handles things. So I didn't think too much of it. And then I noticed that he wasn't really responding when I was, he would lift his head eventually, but it would take him a lot longer to respond when I was touching him. So I took him out of the carrier to take a look at him and make sure everything was okay. And he took a massive watery shit right on my lap. And that, my dear friends, is a sign of an anaphylactic reaction. Just like people who are allergic to peanuts get, where they swell up and it's really bad. So I ran him back into I'm just taking the red shade in this palette and putting it back here. Ran him back into the vet clinic in a panic, just utterly done, really what else could possibly go wrong in my life right now. And brought him back in. They took him back immediately. They didn't make me wait or anything. They took him back right away and they started work on stabilizing him because he was a fucking mess and I was a fucking mess. And then they pulled me into an exam room and they informed me that he had an anaphylactic reaction to the vaccine and that they would have to keep him overnight, and it was just all of this information, and I was like, what is going on? Why me? Why right now? Very nerve-wracking, but Luckily, he got in time, and they were able to stabilize him, and he's doing just fine now. You know, he's been sleeping a lot lately, but he'll do that. And this whole fiasco was, I think, about a week ago. Or 2 weeks ago, something like that. So, quite recent. And it was just kind of like, ugh. It was just another, you know, notch in my belt of suck that's been going on with me lately. It feels like all of the people and critters around me are just like dropping like flies, and I'm like, can you guys slow down with the whole like dying thing? Because yeah, I've been having one too many brushes with death lately, and I am over it. The US still requires a fucking vaccine, so we'll have to figure that out. I heard that you can get like a medical exemption for an animal if they have a violent reaction, which he certainly did. But, you know, I know that vaccines are useful, and I know that they are needed in order to, you know, not spread disease and stuff. I don't, you know, I'm not like staunchly pro-vaccine where I'll get whatever needle a doctor tells me to. I'm somewhere in the middle, and I think it's okay to be somewhere in the middle, you know? It's okay to be able to assess the risks and, you know, talk with your doctor about the risks and benefits of a certain vaccine or another and determine if it's right for you or if it makes sense for your situation. For example, I do not get the flu shot, ever, really. It didn't even really start as like a conscious thing. It was just sort of like I never really felt the need to go get it. For a long time, I didn't work in childcare or anything like that, so I didn't feel the need to go and get it. And even when I did work in childcare, when I first started working in childcare at the CDC a long time ago, if you've been around since the beginning of my YouTube channel, you'll remember those times because that was right around the time I started making videos. But yeah, when I first started working in childcare, my immune system was compromised because we had a bed bug infestation ages and ages and ages ago. We had a big bed bug infestation. I reacted very violently to the bed bug bites. I had hives over 75% of my body. It was not fun, and I ended up having to be on like 5 different kinds of steroids to get rid of it. And the shitty thing about being on steroids is that after you're on steroids, your immune system takes a hit because, you know, the steroids fuck with your immune system, sometimes permanently. So I had to operate under the assumption that my immune system was compromised. And I got sick easier for a really long time. I'm talking years. I got sick easier. I stayed sick longer than anybody else around me. Anything that went through the center, short of pneumonia, I got it. That also meant that I couldn't get the flu vaccine because the flu vaccine would make me really sick. So I didn't, and I wasn't really required to, which was fine. Because anytime I got the flu vaccine, I would get violently ill for like 2 weeks. And I sort of thought to myself, I was like, why would I get a vaccine that will guarantee that I will be violently ill for 2 weeks? And the vaccine is designed to prevent a disease or a virus where I will be violently ill for 2 weeks. Like, it just seems silly to me. In all my time not getting the flu vaccine, I have yet to get the flu. So that's cool, knock on wood. Basically, I just, you know, I'm extra careful, which I have been since they told me that my immune system was depleted all those years ago. I've been extra careful. I wash my hands quite frequently. I stay home when I am sick, you know, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I understand, like, if I were older, if I were like a senior citizen or like an older individual, or if I were younger or anything like that, then yeah, I probably would get a flu vaccine. But for now, I'm able-bodied enough that the risks and rewards are sort of mutual for me, so I just opt not to get it. I mean, I might someday, but I'm not really that, I don't know, it's not something that I'm super emotionally invested in, if that makes sense. Because I don't have any children, I don't plan on having any children, so all the anti-vaxxers who are like, oh, look at all these sick babies who are reacting to vaccines, it doesn't affect me. You know, that sort of argument from emotion and virtue signaling and shit like that, it doesn't work on me because I have no emotional attachment to children. At the same time, I am not anti-vaccine, and I know that a lot of my stances sound a lot like an anti-vaxxer, but I am not anti-vaccine. I want to make that indelibly clear. I think vaccines are absolutely necessary to preserve the lives of the people who are already on the planet. So, you know, being anti-natalist, you know, being someone who is against giving birth, who thinks that there's an overpopulation issue and that we don't need to be giving birth to more humans, when there's already so many on the planet who don't have homes, and yes, there's a name for that, it's called anti-natalist. But you would think that I would be anti-vaccine as well, because vaccines preserve life, but I'm not one of those anti-natalists who's like, everyone needs to kill themselves. Because there are people like that, and I'm not like that. I'm of the mindset that it's important to preserve the lives that we already have. So I'm not against like cancer treatments and things like that because, you know, that's preservation of life that's already here. But what I don't think we need to be doing is adding more life to a planet that is already overloaded, if that makes sense. So I've used like one shade out of this Editorial Brights palette, so I was like, I need to play with this more and use it more. Of course, this video is going to be like a million years long because I'm having to do both eyes on camera. Normally I do one eye off camera for tutorials because it makes it so much easier to get shit done. I don't know how people make makeup tutorial videos that are only like 6 minutes long. I cannot do that. Because, you know, I want people to learn something from my tutorials. And a lot of that requires, like, watching the things I'm doing, which takes time. Like, another example of this same kind of situation is the HPV vaccine. There's a lot of controversy surrounding that vaccine, you know, because it was killing people for a while, it was killing kids for a while, but that's due to allergic reactions, which will happen with literally any vaccine ever. It'll happen with literally any medication ever. It happens with food. People are allergic to peanuts, people are allergic to bees, people are allergic to all kinds of stuff. And those reactions can come on at any point in time in a person's life. So it's not this like conspiracy where big pharma's trying to make money. You know, are pharmaceutical companies gaining a little too much economic power? I think so. Like the whole EpiPen thing. Like, oh my god. Like, you know, I don't hear about stuff as quickly as people in the States do because I'm overseas. And even though you have the internet information superhighway there, I still feel like I'm more out of the loop, you know? But I heard about that EpiPen thing where, you know, if you're not caught up on that, the CEO, I guess, of EpiPen, or like the inventor or something, the woman behind EpiPen jacked the price up like 700% and made it so that an EpiPen is like $300, and I was like, Jesus H. Christ, dude, that's just not cool. Like, that's not cool at all. Like, there are people who need that to live. Like, I don't know. That was just really messed up. It's okay to not want kids, and that's something that I want to impress on, like, the younger generation. It's okay to not want kids. It's okay to not want to give birth. It's okay to want to, like, adopt or anything else like that. There's no shame whatsoever in recognizing an overpopulation issue and choosing not to have children of your own because of it. Don't let anybody shame you for doing that. God, I'm going off on all kinds of tangents today. This video is going to be impossible to edit. You're welcome editing me. Sorry. But, yeah, talking about the HPV vaccine, my sister got it, and she did faint at the time that she got it. And a lot of people would be like, oh, that's a vaccine reaction, oh, blah, 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 vaccine injury, whatever. But she also got like 3 other vaccines that same day. So it does not surprise me at all. I would probably have passed out too. I'm in a monogamous relationship. I am married, and I've had the same sexual partner for the last 7 years, and he gets STD testing done every year as part of being in the military, and he's come back clean each time. So I don't really feel the need to, get that vaccine, because I don't really have enough of a risk of getting that stuff. Considering my chances of getting HPV are pretty much 0, I was like, there's no need for me to get this. Like, it would just be a waste of supply. Like, that could be a vaccine that somebody else could use who really needs it. So, and it's the same with the flu shot a lot of the time. I didn't get the flu shot a whole lot when I was younger because they kept running out of it, and I was like, I don't need it. Like, I'm an able-bodied individual. Your health, your mission for your health should be a team effort between you and the medical professionals that you work with. It should be a collaboration between you and your doctor to find out what makes the most sense for you and your situation. Obviously, some people will require more vaccines than I feel the need to get, and in the future, I will probably need more vaccines than I do right now. But for the time being, I feel like I'm okay. I feel like I'll live, A lot of people advocate for like, oh, we need more homeopathic remedies, everything needs to be more natural. What's natural? Arsenic. Yeah, ultimately I'm a very live and let live kind of person, so, if you don't want to get vaccines, that's cool, but you're gonna have to accept the consequences of having that philosophy. Don't choose to be an anti-vaxxer and then hold out your hand for a welfare check or hold out your hand to get your kids in public school, because, don't expect to be getting special treatment just because you believe a certain thing. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're an anti-vaxxer, that's great, but vaccines are required to be in public school. So if you don't like that and you are staunchly against vaccines, homeschool. Freedom doesn't mean making others follow your belief system. Freedom means everyone gets an opportunity to believe what they want to believe without, severe persecution as a result. That's why I'm sort of like, I don't know. Like, vaccines is a touchy subject for sure, because you're talking about kids' health, which, while that doesn't affect me much, it's something that a lot of people have a lot of feelings about. These shadows, on the other hand, though, like, when I first swatched them, I thought, oh no, because here I was paying a ridiculous amount of money for an eyeshadow palette. Like, I even got these on sale. I got them on sale, and they were, I got 2 of them for like $160, I think. These retail for $80 each. So I couldn't even imagine paying $80 for one of these. Like, what the fuck? And when I first swatched them, they felt really dry and kind of chalky. And I thought, oh no. I was like, I just spent so much money on eyeshadow that's gonna suck. I was like terrified that I was gonna hate it and, you know, that would be that, but they work surprisingly well. I'm eating my words right now because, you know, just because a shadow is kind of chalky in texture doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be difficult to work with. I'm gonna take Urban Decay Gonzo. I'm gonna put this in the waterline. As you are watching this, I am in the States. This was not something that was expected. This is not something that I initially planned for, but I will be in the States for about 3.5 weeks. I have some family stuff that needs to be addressed and taken care of, so that's kind of the most I'll go into it in the interests of my own privacy and in the interests of the privacy of the people involved. I know I'm being really cryptic right now, and I hate it when people do that too, but trust me when I say it's just something that needs to sort of be private to a certain degree, if that makes sense, because there are other people involved and I don't want to compromise their privacy. I'm trying to get as many last-minute videos filmed as I can, but, you know, this isn't the kind of trip where I have been planning it for months and months ahead of time and had time to film a ton in advance. Like, literally bought my tickets 2 days ago. I used to be a very spontaneous person. I really did. I used to be super spontaneous and like always wanting to do something different, ready for anything, ready to drop everything at a moment's notice and just go. But I can't do that as much anymore because of Faye's condition and her insulinoma and stuff like that. I talked about that in my last Get Ready With Me. But my ferret has a chronic illness that requires me to feed her every 4 hours. So ever since she developed insulinoma, ever since she was diagnosed, my life has to revolve around her schedule. You feel me? So I can't just drop everything and go anymore. Like, I have to, everything I do has to be meticulously planned out. And it doesn't always work out like that. So, you know, I wouldn't expect my other friends to like cater to me, but it's just tough because sometimes I have to say no to people because they didn't tell me, you know, enough in advance. So, okay, back to makeup kind of. I got, Sugar Pill had a sale for Labor Day, and I got an entire set of their Electrocute high-vis, you know, UV reactive pigments. And I guess they must be discontinuing them if they put them on sale. I hope not, because the idea of UV reactive pigments is like really cool to me. But I'm gonna try one of these out. I'm gonna take, what is this called? High-vis, go figure. I'm gonna take high-vis and I'm gonna put it in the center of my eye. I've heard that these are UV reactive. I don't actually know for sure if they are or not. I'd have to have a black light in order to find that out, but I'm gonna tap some more loose stuff on here. I'm just gonna pat this. Oh yeah. Yes, that is exactly what I wanted. My freaking camera is dying, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug my camera in and I'm going to put on my foundation and do my false lashes and stuff like that, and then I will be right back. Alright guys, I am back, and a few things changed. I put on foundation. As I said before, I'm trying to use things that I don't normally use or haven't used in a while, so I tried my Kogendo Aqua foundation again, and I just can't see the appeal of this stuff. Like, for what they're charging for it in the States, this is like $60-something a bottle. It has no coverage. None at all. This finish that I've gotten right here, you can still see a ton of redness. You can still see my blemishes. This is after 6 pumps of that foundation. And like normally a foundation should only require like 1 to 2 pumps. So the fact that I used 6 pumps and I'm still getting no coverage is just not okay with me. Like I need, you know, the finish is nice. It feels lightweight. It feels nice on the skin, but I just need way more coverage than this. I also added a little bit of this neon pigment in Sparkage, this green one. I mashed that into the inner corners of my eyes just for funsies, because I mean we're playing around here. I'm messing around with some new stuff. I'm trying to like form my opinions on things, and so yeah, I'm gonna be like fucking around a little bit. I came back because I feel like I want to add some other color, but I don't know what. Like, what do I want to do? Do I want to draw like dots or something? Dots are cool, but do I want to draw like dots or little lines or something? I don't know. I feel like there's something missing from this. Okay, let's get through this. I have more videos to film before I leave. I'm gonna take all of my freaking liner brushes are like frayed out. I need to get some new ones. I'm gonna use an angled liner brush and Jeffree Star Jawbreaker. Just flop some of that onto the back of my hand. Well, not the back, like the side of my hand. And try and get this brush saturated so it'll sit together. It still won't. It's still gonna be frayed as fuck, but I'm hoping I'll be able to get some straight lines out of it. And then, God, I don't know. What do I want to do? Maybe like one of those? There we go. Oh, ooh. Ooh, you're pretty. Yeah, this is looking really cool, actually. I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know what to do on the other side, though. Like, I feel like we should keep things asymmetrical, but maybe just some dots. A lot of people, you know, they have no idea what colors will work well together. And that's, you know, when I'm teaching workshops and people sort of approach me with that kind of concern, I'm just like, all right, here's what you do. You ready? You know, when you get home from this workshop, I want you to go to the lab. You know, I want you to sit wherever you do your makeup and play. In my life here lately, with all the stressful shit that's been going on with my family and with the kids and with everything else, every now and again, I just need to come here, sit in my little lab chair, and paint. You know, no pressure, no preconceived notions of greatness. I'm gonna put a lip color on here real quick. Then I'm gonna go in with Helitronic, which is this like blue pigment. Ooh, it's pretty. Ooh, I like that a lot. I'm trying really hard not to like spill it everywhere. But I'm gonna take a lip brush, dip into this, and pat it on top of the liquid lipstick. What do you guys think? I don't know that it goes with the overall feel that I've had so far here, but I don't know, I can't decide. I can't decide if I like it with this look or not. But like, if you have a soft eye and you want to amp it up on the lips a little bit and follow like the metallic lip trend, this would totally be a cool way to do it. This is what I'm going to be going with here. I just sort of painted my feelings, ended up doing some kind of ombre. I really like how this came out, this ombre liner streaky thing. I like this. I'm probably going to end up using this in the future. I do like the color combo as well. I feel like it came out really nice. The dots are a little bit cutesy for me, so I think in the future I'll try to make them smaller or just make fewer of them. And the lip is cool. I just don't know if I necessarily like it with all of the liner stuff going on. That might be a little bit too much, but I'm a sucker for a good dark lip, what can I say? My camera is dying for a second time, so without further ado, let's do some awkward posing. Awkward posing. Looking down. Looking forward. Looking fierce. If you have any ideas for videos, leave them in the comments down below. I love getting feedback from you guys. It's like my favorite thing. And if you found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt. You know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, subscribe and become a member of the faithful today. I put out new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles!